tension between President William Samoei Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua is real. It is palpable and it is dividing the UDA right in the middle. It came out very clearly when the majority leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichungwa, revealed that there are people who could be wishing that the president is dead so that Rigathi Gachagua takes oath of office. And the person who started this conversation is Wahome Dhuku. Wahome Dhuku is a renowned blogger. This is what Wahome Dhuku said, and this is a tweet that he did, I don't know, a day or 2 days ago. He was commenting on a picture that was shared by Rigathi Gachagua team when Rigathi chose to use the KQ economy class when he was flying to Mombasa. And that discussion caused a storm because many felt that he was chasing clout. And I know those who are from the president's side really knew that he had exposed the president because the president recently traveled using a private jet that cost Kenyans 200 million Kenyan shillings. And in a way, Rigathi was exposing the president because the president is preaching water and drinking wine. He has always talked about austerity measures. So this is what Wahome Dhuku said. Take a nice look at this man and a very nice one. The distance between this villager and State House is this small. A 1-minute event and he is sworn in as the 6th president of Kenya. You like it or not, he would be sworn in within 24 hours and power would shift instantly to a Munyoro village. I used to say the same about Deputy President William Ruto. I say the same about this man whom I didn't even vote for. I keep reminding you that as you elect a president, you must think about his choice of a running mate. Would you want the running mate to rule by default? I have not said anything will happen to William Ruto, but I am not God to rule out anything. Just know that till 2027, this guy is this close. And were anything to happen, he climbs up there. You would be shocked as to how he would disorganize everything you have arranged. The first stop for Farouk Kibet would be Nandi County, and we in opposition would just order for some popcorn. It's life. Now this post did not go down well with some of the government side, those who are following William Ruto, because they felt that Wahome Dhuku is a kind of predicting that William Ruto could be dead. And the whole parliament decided to take a moment and discuss the deputy president's conduct by choosing to abort a KQ flight to Mombasa. Many of them were saying that he shouldn't have done that. Now, while commenting, the majority leader Kimani Ichungwa had this to say about Wahome Dhuku's post.
In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, let me speak to many people, Honorable Speaker, because I saw a very unfortunate post yesterday on social media by those bloggers who work in those big offices, Honorable Speaker, anticipating the demise or the occurrence of a vacancy in the office of the president. Honorable Speaker, there are things people may do casually and post online. And I remember, Honorable Speaker, when my predecessor, the Honorable Charles Jonjo, was Attorney General and Minister for Constitutional Affairs, he made it treasonable to even imagine the death of a president. We are not in that age, Honorable Speaker. But it's unfortunate that bloggers who work for senior officers of this government can post write-ups on social media either wishing, anticipating, or praying for the occasioning of a vacancy in the office of the president, and purporting that the deputy president is only an inch away from the presidency should anything happen to the president. Honorable Speaker, these are things we may take lightly. Just as we may take lightly the talk that you referred to by the governor for Nyeri, or indeed the talk about people going to their villages. And I want to agree with Honorable Soro. These are the kind of things, Honorable Speaker, in 2007, 2008 that led us into the problems that we got into with post-election violence, when people were told to go back to their villages.
Now, after the majority leader reacted in Parliament, it caught the attention of Wahome Ichungwa again. And Wahome had this to tell Kimani Ichungwa, saying, just for the record, I don't work in any big office, because Kimani had said that some bloggers who work in big offices. I work for myself and blog for myself. 2, I said if anything were to happen to the president, which can even be resignation or impeachment and even death, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 discusses the death of a president almost a dozen times. Article 146, Section 1A states expressly that the office of the president shall become vacant if the holder of the office dies. 146(2) states, if the vacancy occurs, the DP shall assume office for the remainder of the term of the president. They may not have taught law at Alliance, but at least they impact brains there. That I know. That was his stand after majority leader reacted on the street. I don't know what you make out of the tweet. I don't know what you make out of the reaction of Kimani Ichungwa. Now, one thing that caught my attention is people have always spoken about William Ruto, the deputy. These are leaders, and their conduct and fate are discussed. I remember sometimes back, people were even saying, that Ruto's foot had swollen, and some people were even saying that Siaende. As a leader, people talk about you. There are people who love you, there are people who hate you. But why would this particular one catch the attention of Kimani Ichungwa? This is not the first time people are talking ill about the president. As a matter of fact, even in school, right from the primary level, secondary, there are teachers who are hated. Anytime you are in a position of leadership, there are people who hate you. In fact, Kimani Ichungwa must understand that immediately William Ruto was declared the president of Kenya, supporters of Raila did not like him because they felt the Raila's victory was stolen. But why would this particular one looks like it is a thorn in their flesh? What has really triggered this? Why is Kimani Ichungwa disturbed? And that is the question that I want to answer. Why do you think this particular tweet disturbed Kimani Ichungwa? I want to delve on this, but allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you, and like our videos and share our videos if you can. To all our supporters, allow me to thank you also in a very special way. The reaction of Kimani Ichungwa reveals that the differences between President Ruto and his deputy are very real. I know some people think that this is choreographed to maybe block us or divert our attention so that we don't discuss Finance Bill 2024. But personally, from where I sit, the differences are very, very real. And Rigathi is giving William Ruto sleepless nights because he learned from William Ruto the same things William Ruto was doing to Uhuru Kenyatta. They say karma. It has now come back. Take, for example, the way he was using that shop, the KQ. It really dented William Ruto's conduct. And Kimani Ichungwa is only revealing that we need not to add petrol into an already lit fire, because there is fire between the two leaders. Number two, the majority leader wants people to start imagining that maybe the deputy president is sending bloggers to talk about an imaginary event, that the office of the president is vacant. And you saw Wahome Thuku saying that I didn't say that the president would be dead. I say in the event that there is a vacancy, which could be resignation or death or impeachment. So Kimani Ichungwa would want us to believe that maybe it is Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president, who sent Wahome Thuku, because he's saying that the bloggers who are working in high offices. Maybe to a larger extent, Kimani Ichungwa wants us to believe that the deputy president is harboring malicious, thoughts about the president, that he may want him out of that office. Because for Kimani Ichungwa to stand before Parliament and start telling us about a tweet that was just made, and I know there are even more serious tweets, and he picked on this particular one, he wants Kenyans to believe that maybe deputy president is thinking of eliminating the president. Otherwise, some of these things, you let them go. You don't stand on a podium and start talking about them. There is bad blood, and there is suspicion between the two leaders, if you ask me. That is why when someone blogs about a vacuum or a vacancy in that office, then those who are supporting the presidents are quite alarmed, and they feel something is definitely wrong here. There is a lot of suspicion, and it brings the question, would Rigathi travel using, a military chopper? I don't know. Number three, William Ruto is guilty, because he knows very well that the promises that he gave to Kenyans have not been realized. We have the elephant in the room, the Finance Bill 2024, that people have rejected, all experts, Kenyans, hustlers, and they're saying this is untenable. We just passed the Finance Bill 2023 last year, and we thought we'd look into how the implementation would be. The levies on petroleum products. Then come 2024, they have reviewed even what they had zero rated on tax in Finance Bill 2023. Now they want to tax them like diapers. So he knows very well that Kenyans don't like the way he's increasing taxes. And that is why when someone tweets about a vacancy, he feels very, very bad about it. He feels it could be real, because Kenyans don't want him. Otherwise, such tweets will not catch the attention of the president and his handlers. It only means that he really feels that he's not doing enough. He's not being the president he campaigned to be. And that is why he's scared about such tweets. Just do your own opinion poll where you are, where you do your street politics, and ask people, especially those who voted for him, whether they still feel he's the same man to change the economy of this country. Ask them, that they will tell you. We have seen people heckle him, those people who voted for him. It is very real. I also have a feeling that Kimani Ichungwa would also want to test waters and see if they can start, gagging social media. It just starts like this. The president handlers would come up with something, and they suggest to him that when you leave a lot of freedom to all these, when you give a lot of freedom to social media handlers, then they will go overboard. Because you saw Kimani Ichungwa saying that Njonjo, the former Attorney General, had brought a particular article that it is treasonable to even imagine that a president is dead. But Kimani Ichungwa must understand that we are in a new dispensation. We are not in the Nyayo era, where whatever the president said was alpha and omega. So for him to revisit this, it would mean that even he wants to reintroduce such retrogressive clauses that you don't imagine. Maybe they want to introduce more Kenya, if you ask me. And maybe lastly, they are thinking of arresting Wahome Thuku. They are thinking of, summoning him to go and record a statement. But if they were to summon Mohamed Duku, then they would summon everybody, because Kenya, the democratic space in Kenya had expanded thanks to people like Raila Amolo Odinga, Martha Karua, those who fought for the second liberation. And so for Kimani Ichungwa to stand and start expounding on just a tweet that was made by Mohamed Duku, it means the differences between the president and his deputy are real. But where we are, let me say that we will only grab a popcorn, because the president and his deputy had assured us that what befell them with his predecessor would not be part of their system. I don't know what to think, but that is my take.